Hey, welcome to At The Track Live. I am Coach James. I am the creator of and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. And you may be saying, what is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including but not limited to friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, a range of topics. After we have covered all the science topics and conducted experiments to drive home those ideas, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything that they have learned in the class. Once they have selected their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, the materials the car is made from, all of the information that they can observe about the cars. They do that, they enter that information into a spreadsheet, and then once they have done that, all that's left to do is conduct the experiment. And the way that we conduct our experiments is we set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip and race the cars and have a little tournament and see how the cars perform. The students watch their cars and see if their cars performed up to or below their expectations, and if they had the opportunity, would they select that same car again, or would they make a different choice based on what they observed. In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, all you have to do is go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, also at aaAerodynamics, and all the information you need is in the bio, and we can discuss how to bring our program to your school, your organization, or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is All About Aerodynamics presents At The Track Live. So what is At The Track Live? Well, before I can bring in those cars for the students to use, I have to make sure that I have them organized and cataloged properly. And in order to do that, I have to take a picture, I have to shoot a little video, I have to give the cars a number, I have to put them into the spreadsheet, and then they're ready for the students to use. The problem is that was pretty boring, so I was trying to figure out a way to make it a little more interesting for myself, and came up with the idea of At The Track Live, which forces me to go into storage and pull out some of those Hot Wheels cars that I bought but haven't done anything with. Pull out new cars each week, crack those open, give a little review, and get my picture, get my video, enter the car into the spreadsheet. But since the track is already set up, might as well race the car. So every week we have a tournament and see which of the new cars is the fastest. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, and you're going to have 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link, one is the Twitch stream link, but the third link is the one that's most important. That is the link that will say choose a car, and if you click on that link, it will take you to this page. And on this page, you will see all of the cars, or actually it's a series of pages. You will see all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At The Track Live fleet. We are now up to 1,085 cars in the fleet. And we have all types of cars. We have fantasy cars, we have mainline regular cars designed after real cars. We have character cars. We have I just saw one in here. This one. We have these Hot Wheels ID cars, which were premium cars that had a little chip inside and also interacted with the special Hot Wheels ID tracks, and that never really caught on, but you can still, they're getting harder to find, but there are still some of these cars out there. And the reason why I liked them was because they were premium cars made with the best materials. They had a lot of detail, but they also had plastic wheels because they had to work with the ID tracks. So a lot of the premium cars have rubber wheels, and as we've seen over and over, but recently there's been a little bit of a change. But typically, cars with rubber wheels, the rubber wheels create too much friction, and the cars just aren't fast on our track, and therefore we tend not to use cars with rubber wheels. Although in the last couple of weeks we've had cars with rubber wheels on the track, and they've been okay. They haven't beaten out the cars with the plastic wheels, but they have been they've been pretty decent. So those cars are available. You can find those scattered throughout the collection. We have character cars, food cars. We've got this donut drifter. There is a car that is a hot dog. There's a piece of birthday cake. There's a Jello mold. There's a sushi roll. So if food is your thing, we've got that. I'm presume that we've got that hamburger car. Only thing missing is pizza. So they might be working on that right now. But any type of Hot Wheels car you can think of, we probably have. If we don't have that exact car, we have something similar in the range, in the realm. So if you happen to know a specific car, if you know that you're looking for a 68 Plymouth Barracuda Formula S, and you don't want to scroll through all of the pages and the 1,085 cars to look for it, you can just send me a message and tell me the name, and I have a spreadsheet and I can check that and let you know whether or not we have it. And if we do have it, here it is right here. This is it. I like this. This is a nice. I like when they put more detail into the mainline cars and really add something. And I know that Matchbox cars tend to have detail, like period, as a rule. Hot Wheels cars, the mainline cars, it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they have extra detail, sometimes they don't. And when they take the time to put in the effort to give those little extra touches and details, it pays off, usually. Hey, Christopher, hey, GSR, how you doing? Yeah, so just go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose your car, scroll through, find the car, and once you find the car that you want, you can select it. So if it's this 64 Lincoln Continental, you click on that, you can take a look at it, say, yeah, that's the car I want to go with, and then you can just take that number, in this case 490, drop that in the chat. I will pull that car, and that is it. That's all you have to do. You're entered into today's tournament, and you will have a chance to go up against all the new cars that I introduce and other cars that viewers have picked. And we are going to take a look at those cars, and probably the races start, because after the fact I put in time codes and we're pretty consistent. The races usually start about 45 minutes from now. It takes about 45 minutes to introduce the cars and get everything set up, and then we start the races. So you've got time. You've got time to go look through the cars, find the one you want to go with, and take your shot. So if you happen to beat out all these other cars and you end up winning the tournament, then you will have the opportunity to take on our fastest in fleet car. And our fastest in fleet car is and has been this one. The Blitz Speeder. The Blitz Speeder has been our fastest in fleet car now for about 4 months or so. And it is a 4-time fastest in fleet champion, which means that it has been beaten 3 times. And the 3 cars that have beaten it, the Gazella R, the Dogfighter, and the Mercedes-Benz 500E. But through a whole series of races and wins and losses, the Blitz Speeder ends up back as our champion. And if you've seen the Blitz Speeder race, you know that the races it's had have not been close. We have our tournaments. Every week, we come out with a winner. The winner faces the Blitz Speeder. And the Blitz Speeder the last few weeks has just been obliterating the winner of the tournament. So, what we're going to do is hope hopefully find a car that can at least compete with the Blitzspeeder, because the Blitzspeeder is just so dominant that it's hard to even find a car that can give it a good race. If you were with us on any of our Wind Tunnel Wednesday episodes, you saw that when we put the Blitzspeeder into the wind tunnel, the aerodynamic profile that the Blitzspeeder has is pretty much perfect. And ultimately, it's able to reduce the impact of drag. And drag is going to be the most significant force impacting these cars, presuming they get a good launch. And as these cars are moving down the track, and our track is a flat drag track, not a gravity track, so if your car has a bad aerodynamic profile and drag is working to slow the car down, it's working to slow all the cars down. So the trick is to find a car that can minimize the impact of drag in order to maintain more of its speed for a longer distance. And the Blitzspeeder is absolutely able to do that. In addition, it gets very consistent launches. That wing at the back of the car, right there, this flat wing, is perfect because it presses right up against the launching block. And we've kind of found, in just watching the races, that cars that have a wing or a point of contact that's sort of aligned like at the roof line level tend to get pretty consistently good launches. And that is something that we see from the Blitzspeeder. When cars do not get good launches, when cars get poor launches, terrible launches, and we usually see this with narrow cars, when they get bad launches, they will get pushed off to one side or the other. And when that happens, we start to see Isaac Newton's third law of motion, that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if a car gets pushed off, hits the right side of the track, it's going to bounce back and hit the left side. And then when it hits the left, it's going to bounce back to the right, and we see the cars just bouncing back and forth. Every time it hits that sidewall to bounce back, there's a little bit of friction, and that is another force that's working to slow the cars down. So any car that can keep straight on the track, get a good, solid, quality launch, then also reduce the impact of drag, is going to be in the mix. So it's a whole thing, and the Blitzspeeder is at the top of the heap right now. So we have the Blitzspeeder as the car that we're trying to take out. I know that Christopher and Roughshot already locked in their picks. GSR, you're welcome to make a pick. Just go to AtTheTrack.live, find a car, give me the number. I will pull that car, and that is what we are going to do. But I have cars to introduce, and a few weeks ago, I was worried that we were going to that we were getting low, because I was going through the storage bins, and we were running into a lot of duplicate cars. And I don't want to have duplicate cars in the fleet, because there's not really a point to that. If a car is a unless there's some significant change, if a car is the exact same car but just has a different paint job, it doesn't matter materially on the track. But if it's a car that has different wheels, in some cases we find cars where I forget which car it was, but it was the same car, but one was a metal body on a plastic base and the other was a plastic body on a metal base. So that's a significant difference. So that is that warrants having a duplicate car in the fleet. But anyway, we were having so many duplicates that I was getting worried that we were going through and, we might run out of new cars to introduce. But over the last month, I picked up cars at a swap meet. A great friend of the program has picked up cars at a flea market. And I was looking through the storage, and I came across a bunch of cars that I must have bought at the Hot Wheels swap meet a while back. and just put away and forgotten about. And so we've got plenty of cars, older cars that we definitely don't have duplicates of. So let's jump in and pull one. Which bag is this? Also, I was on vacation, and when I was on vacation, I found some cars, pulled those. We'll start with one that isn't this isn't old. I gotta check to make sure we don't already have one, but picked this up from the Neon Speeders collection, this Datsun Fairlady 2000, and I am going to check the spreadsheet because I remember there's some kind of Fairlady car, but I didn't know if it was the Datsun. We have a Datsun 200SX, a 240Z, a 620, and a Bluebird. We do not have a Datsun Fairlady 2000, but we do right now. So we're going to go ahead and crack this one open and take a look. Let me just check under F. Make sure they didn't slide in. Oh, see? I checked under F, and there is a Fairlady 2000. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if this is the same car or not. 156. I remember the name, the Fairlady part, and let's see. Yep, this is the exact same car as this one. The only difference is apparently this one, when it was listed, did not say Fairlady on it. So we now have a prize car, and because we don't want to have duplicates in the fleet, and even though this one's pretty cool with all the pink and white accents, it's a duplicate car. So this will be a prize car, which means that it is going to be a car that a student can select if they win a game, answer a question, have good citizenship. So much for that. All right, let me go into a bag that I know has cars that we don't have yet. Let's see. At least I think. All right. We're going to go with this one. We're going to try to see what we've got with this one. This Oldsmobile 442. Now, I know that we have one with the giant, like, donk wheels, but we're going to see whether or not we've got just a standard Olds 442. And it looks like we do. Wow, I'm really, right after I just bragged about not having duplicates, first two out of the box are duplicates. Let's see, number 107. Actually, okay, wait. So this one is the Olds. This is the Oldsmobile Olds 442, but so this is significantly different. I mean, in a sense, because this one has this little wing at the back. Granted, it's just a sloppy kind of plastic, bulky wing with no contours, so it's not actually going to perform the functions that a wing on a car is supposed to perform, but nevertheless, it has a wing. This one does not, and therefore, it is significantly, it's different enough. I'll also show the other one that we have, which is the one that I definitely remember, number 234, which is on page 2. So once I go to page 2, it is this one. This one. This Olds 442. And yeah, that is absolutely significantly different. I think this is the only car like that I have in the collection. I don't know if this was like a series that they were doing, or if this is just a one-off, but it's absolutely unique It rarely, if ever, I don't know that it's been picked. So I don't think it's ever raced on the track. So that's one of those ones that maybe, possibly could do something. But nevertheless, we've got this old 442 that we're going to crack open and take a look at. Okay, GSR, got your pick in there. Yeah, the donk. I don't know if Hot Wheels had a donk series and there were more of these cars that I could have picked up, but this is the only one I have right now. So 370. Let's see you later. Okay, we will pull that car in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and crack open this old 442 minus the wing. And just started saying that's similar to the original red line, so that kind of makes sense. All right, let's check the weight. We know that the weight on the Blitz Speeder is 32.4 grams, and that is well within our sweet spot. Our sweet spot is anything between 32 and 36 grams. Seems to be good. You can win outside of those ranges, but that's the good range. The Olds 442 weighs in at exactly 35 grams, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. Good looking car. I like like all the accents, gold and black and white. Nice looking car, and I am going to get my video here, and the video is used for promotional reasons, but also for the online version of All About Aerodynamics for the students who can't obviously see the cars in person. It gives them an opportunity to see all the way around the car, see the details, the front, the back, the sides, the quarter panels, all of that, and make a more informed decision. I'll call this Olds 442, and I'll put no wing, wingless. And I think one thing, I'm looking at this car, it seems to be narrow. And it's not, when I say cars are narrow, I don't mean they're really narrow like like a old school dragster funny car. They're just a little more narrow than what I would consider a wide car. And the reason that makes a difference is because the cars can then are more likely to bounce around the track if they don't get a perfect launch. So the more narrow a car is, the more important it is that it gets a perfect launch. Because as soon as cars start bouncing side to side on the track, it's pretty much a wrap when you start talking about going up against cars like the Blitz Speeder. And the Blitz Speeder is absolutely the gold standard, but you also can get ideas in what it's like with any other sport or activity. You watch the best and see what the best does and has, and then you kind of know what you need to do to beat the best. And let me get my still picture here of the Olds 442 with no wing. And we have, this is it's car number 1086 introduced into the fleet. And we are off and running. So one thing that I did, just one thing I picked up recently. Last week we had this Maisto Ferrari. It was the Ferrari 812 Competizione, and it was just phenomenal. Everything about this car, the details, the colors, the paint, even the opening doors, everything about this car is outstanding. Even they even have on the tires, It has information there, just like the real is it P or F0? I forget. Whatever. But the everything about this car, very premium, very nice, very much quality. Maisto. But then Maisto also produced, that's their high end. Then on their low end, they gave us this. This was arguably, this is the cheapest, this is the worst, one of the worst cars I've seen. And we're going to switch over just to really kind of highlight how terrible this Maisto Firebird was, how cheap. There is a gap, which you can see kind of right there, between the plastic base of the car and the metal body. I mean, just like the gap, it's ridiculous. It feels cheap. It is cheap. And then the wheels are awful. They are some of the worst wheels I've seen on a quote-unquote legitimate branded car. Sometimes when you get those off-brand, you can go to the dollar store and there'll be some, die-cast cars, and they'll have this level of quality, which is poor. So this car was such poor quality, we didn't even put it in the fleet. But it's crazy because the same company that made this made that Ferrari. And clearly they're putting all their effort and energy into their premium cars, and and not the lower end mainline cars. But I also picked up this at Costco. This 79 Ford F150. This is 1/18 scale, and it was just a cool pickup truck, and I don't know, something about it caught my eye. And they had all kinds of cars. They had hypercars, muscle cars, all kinds of things. But this is the one that kind of caught my eye. And on this one, the wheel, if you turn the wheel, the steering wheel, the front wheels turn. This is also made by Maisto. Good quality. I haven't taken the little band off, but I believe the doors open on this one. I don't know if the tailgate comes down. So great quality. This is Maisto. So Maisto does this, also does this, and also did that Ferrari. So on the low end, Maisto is leaving a lot to be desired, but I wanted to give them a chance. And I was in a store the other day, and I saw this, a Maisto 5-pack. And it had that same awful Firebird in there from before. But it also had this Lamborghini. And that's the one that caught my eye. It had another Lambo police truck in this green van that you can't see because of the green screen. But all of these things were there. Now, I want that Lamborghini, and I'm hoping that the quality is better than this Firebird. I don't know. We're going to see. This is going to be, if this one is terrible, this is going to be the last Maisto mainline car I pick up. So go ahead and crack this whole pack open. And I can already see with the Firebird, I can see that same gap. So I'm hoping it's just related to the Firebird, but let's crack this pack open. Grab this Lambo, and just a cool looking car. This is a Lamborghini Terzo Millennio. Millennio, excuse me. Lamborghini Terzo Millennio. All right, let's see what it weighs. Doesn't seem to be as poorly made as the Firebird. Weighs in at 27.8 grams. And we can take a look at it over here. Switch up. Turn that off. Lamborghini. And I have plenty of Lamborghinis in the fleet. There is no shortage of Lamborghinis. Let me switch out that background to get a little more contrast. Now I will say this: the wheels are definitely just as cheap as they are on that Firebird. So that is not a positive, but hopefully we'll get a better performance out of this. Let me get my still picture here. And here we go with the Lamborghini Terzo Millennio. All right. And let's take a 360 view here. Switch over to the video and just grab this. Grab this here. Now, with this car being light cars, that's another. It's not a red flag. It's more of a light red flag, more of a pink flag. When a car is too light on our track, lots of things could happen. It can get fired up by the launcher, like fired up into the air. It can, if it doesn't get a good quality solid launch, it can get bounced around a lot. But what we mostly see with cars that are too light is toward the back end of the track. Let me see, Lamborghini Terzo Millennio. What we see at the back end of the track is that cars that are too light, drag will slow them down, and we see it every time at the back third of the track. The car just slows down, and you can see it in real time when we're racing. So we'll see if that's the case with this one. Now it's light, and I was looking at the back when it came around, and it has the back end only has this one little flat area. That's going to be the part of the car that touches the launching block. And usually you want more surface area pressing up against the launching block. But in this case, that's all we have. So we're going to see if that makes a difference. Now, these aren't hard and fast rules. It's just kind of what we've observed over the years of racing these cars. And the Dogfighter is a perfect example. The Dogfighter only had one slim little piece of the car touching the launching block and was extremely fast. It's one of the fastest cars we've ever raced. So that's a thing to consider. Now, with Maisto, this one looks good, and it's making up for how terrible that Firebird was. But I'm still not sold on these Maisto wheels. These are pretty, they're not good. They are not good at all. And if I didn't have those other examples of that Ferrari and the that Ford F150 that I just picked up, then I would kind of say, oh well, I guess Maisto just doesn't have the capabilities to put better quality wheels on their cars. But we know that they do because we've seen it. So they're just making some choices, some hard choices, and that's what we get. But anyway, we have the Lamborghini Terzo Millennio, and we're gonna see if it can make up. Yeah, these wheels and axles on this car are really, really bad. I'm not a customizer, so I'm not a wheel swap guy. I don't really know. I've never done that. I've never broken the cars apart to swap out the wheels. But yeah, they look like used slot car tires. Yeah, they're just bad. So somebody at MyStow is making a choice, and I guess you have to decide where you're going to spend your time and energy, and they've decided we're not going to spend it on our mainline low-end cars. So we'll see how that one does. If that one does okay, then we may come back, and now they're falling out of the pack. So if this one does okay, if this Lamborghini does okay, then we may come back and do something with some of these other cars, and even this green van that you can't see. All right. So we've got our Olds 442. Hey, Roughshod. We've got our Lamborghini. Now let's see. I told you I found a stash of cars that older cars that I picked up at the swap meet. Great. I mean, they're in here. Let's see what we've got. How about we go with, I even found some faster than ever wheel cars, which, let's see if I can find one here. Oh no, here, we're going to go with this one. Another of these gimmicks that we haven't been able to figure out, Gold Medal Speed. Gold Medal Speed is like best for track, track stars. We don't know what it means. The only one we know that it means something is faster than ever wheels. Gold Medal Speed really means nothing. Let's see. Christopher, have I gotten the 83 Chevy Silverado yet? No, I don't think so. If it's a newer car that's out, or a newer truck, then I don't think I've picked that up or seen it recently, but I would have to go back and check, because I do have a bunch of trucks, especially if it's a wider truck that wouldn't fit on the track. I have a whole box of trucks that I just haven't opened because they won't fit on the track. All right, let's see, a Chevy Stocker. I know one of the first cars that we have in here, and by the way, Christopher, we do have car number 753 is a Chevy Silverado, but I don't know what year it is. It's probably not. It's probably more modern than 83. Anyway, so the Chevy Stocker is interesting because we have that Mountain Dew. There's that Mountain Dew. It's right. It's one of those ones we have in the fleet because it's got the faster than ever wheels, but I am not seeing it. But oh, okay. So then, okay. So let's see. GSR is saying that the Gold Medal Speed is essentially the same as faster than ever wheels, where the axles are nickel plated and therefore reduces the friction and allows the wheels to spin more freely. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and crack this open. The Chevy Stocker. Old school, metal on metal, so we know it's going to be heavy. So it's going to need those. It's going to need those wheels. Whew. This one's weighing in at 53 grams. 53 grams for this Chevy Stocker. And we are going to, we're going to see. Let's take a look at this one. This one is, I don't know that the video is doing the pink on this car justice. It's pink and sprinkled with glitter. I don't know that I have another car like this. Just pink and sprinkled with glitter from bumper to bumper. And the yellow windows, the gold the gold rims. I like this because, not because it looks good, but just because they are, it's so wild, like that they committed to it. They really committed to, we're going to make this wild looking car and we're going to do it. So I like that. If you're gonna do it, do it. All right, let's see. We are looking at the Chevy Stocker, the Ferrari F40. So here's the thing with this gold medal speed, and I think it might be the Ferrari F40. I bought one because I was watching some Hot Wheels. I was watching Hot Wheels races on another channel, which I do all the time because I'm always trying to see which cars are fastest on different tracks. And I saw that was the car. That was the one they had. They kept a list. And the gold medal speed, I'm pretty sure it was the Ferrari F40 gold medal speed, and I bought it. I went out and bought it on eBay. It was the first gold medal speed car that I ever bought. I hadn't even heard of that before. And we put it on the track, and it was too heavy. And that's the issue, is that these cars that are, especially the older cars that are metal on metal, when we're talking about a flat drag track, usually so the forces that are at work on these cars, friction, gravity, and drag, the gravity aspect starts to get to the heavier cars on the back end. We see it all the time. That heavier cars, even heavier cars with great aerodynamic profiles, end up slowing down on the back end, that back third, and that is pretty much a wrap for those cars. And I expect that we will see it with this Stocker. And I know that in terms of gravity tracks, these Stockers are kind of top of the heap, and I've seen them on a lot of gravity tracks actually, win. But here's what there's this, I know it's right in this top group. It's got to be. There it is, this one, this racing Stocker. So this one we put on the track, and it did pretty well, and it's got the faster than ever wheels. It's basically the exact same car as the one. Well, actually, no, I'm seeing differences. It's similar. It's very similar, but it's really heavy. You can see from the reflection, it's metal on metal. So just like this Stocker, this Stocker is going to have its work cut out for it just because of that weight. That weight is really going to, it's gonna be something that's going to be pretty hard to overcome, but we will see how it plays out. Can the Stocker compete? All right, there is more. There is much more. Let's see. We are going to look at, I found this one. This one isn't old, but this 69 Corvette Racer. It's part of the Hot Ones reissue, so I'm just going to check to make sure that we don't have a duplicate. And 69, let's see here, 69 Corvette Racer. Yep, it is car number 70. So let's go ahead and take a look, because this one may be a little different than the one that we have in the fleet, just because it's from this special series. So let's see, number 70. It is pretty much the same. I'm looking at the wheels, and the wheels are definitely different, and I think the wheels are different enough that I'm going to put this one in. Yeah, why not? Why not? why not throw it in, and we'll see what happens. Now, if this turns out to be our fastest car of the day, then of course we're going to have to pull out that other Corvette and go head to head and see what exactly happens. So we are going to crack this open. 69 Corvette Racer. Yeah, oh, the Hot Wheel, okay. So you're saying they don't have a Hot Wheels swap meet in your area. Yeah, there are, there used to be one that was pretty consistent in this park out here. It was twice a month, but they changed the location because the park was getting renovated. 35.2 grams on this Corvette. They changed that, and so now it's a little harder to find. It kind of pops up, and I haven't found the Instagram account that I used to follow to know when they were having it. Hasn't been updated, and so it's a little hard to find. But when I do find it, I try to make it out there because there's always people. Most of the people are selling like premium cars, and I don't really have any interest in those because they're not good on the track. So I'm just looking for old school cars, cars from the 90s, things like that are a little unique, a little different, and sometimes I can find those. Sometimes I can't, but I'm more likely to find something unique and different in the at the swap meet versus trying to find it in the store. I don't have good luck just going in the stores and finding things. That's like Roughshod and Virgo. They hit the stores and find all kinds of jewels and gems and things, and but I never have that kind of luck. Not usually. Every once in a while, I'll get to some store at just the right time and something will be there. I go to Ross. I know that Roughshod finds a lot of things at Ross and some of the other stores, but I've never had any luck at the Rosses near me. So maybe one day, or maybe I just need to go more frequently. But now, well, that's the thing. So garage sales are interesting because I've seen people online who have gone to garage sales and found, great cars. But my question is, how many garage sales do you have to go to in order to find one that's selling, that has Hot Wheels available? And that sounds like a whole day's worth of just driving around and hoping. I don't know. It might be worth it if I could stumble across something, but I don't know. I've thought about it. I've just never done it. So this 69 Corvette Racer, great looking car. It's in this special Hot Ones series that Mattel put out, and so it's got the great kind of Spectra Flamey paint job, all the badges, the colors are nice. I like the wheel combination on this car, and they even took care of the headlights and the tail lights. So this is a nice looking car. Now, how that all translates on the track, I don't know. The weight is fine. The back end is flat. We have this roll cage here. So as we've seen with cars with roll cages, doesn't really impact when we put them in the wind tunnel. It's not really a big impact, except when we see the air does dip into this driver's compartment, and that creates this turbulence and pressure. We end up with this drag, and it's not what you want to see. The ideal situation is for the air to flow along the body lines of the car from front to back, and anything that works to disrupt that airflow is going to contribute to drag, which is going to impact the car's performance on the track. Let's see. See, there we go. We have Roughshod saying that Ross has the Hot Wheels Masters of the Universe sets, Marvel Secret Wars sets showing up for like $13. So I presume the retail was a lot higher than that. And yeah, the gravity tracks. We have a video. It's one of the earlier videos that that we put on the channel, and it was the gravity track versus our launcher, just to show the difference. And in order to build up the speed with the cars on the gravity track, I had to increase the angle and move the cars up higher and give them more potential energy, and then when I let them go, more kinetic energy. And ultimately the launcher, so we put the cars on the gravity track, and at a certain point, like, I got a ladder and ran the gravity track all the way up the ladder. So the car started at near the midpoint of the ladder. We let the gravity track car come down, and when it hit a certain point, then we released the launcher car, and the launcher cars always just destroyed the gravity track cars. And ultimately what I wanted to do was go up on the roof of the house that I was at and make the gravity track go all the way up to the roof, to see how high we would have to release the gravity track car and how steep that angle would have to be in order for the gravity track car to build up enough speed to match the speed out of the launcher. And this was the old launcher that we were using. And so if you go back and watch that video, I believe there's links in the Instagram, and it's on the YouTube channel. But that was the old launcher we were using, and that was before I designed the launcher we use now. The launcher we use now, I mean, you would have to drop the gravity track car probably out of a second-story window in order to match the speed of this launcher. So that is where we're at. So all right, let's see. We've got the old 442. We've got the Lamborghini, what was it, Terzo, Millennio. We've got the Chevy Stocker, and we've got the 69 Corvette Racer. So we are now going to here's one we're gonna put in. I don't know how this is gonna. Well, we'll do that one last because it may not stick. All right, let's see. What else do I have in here? I know. Let's see. Here is. Let's go with. We're going with this one, and this may be. I don't know. This is Torpedo Jones. Torpedo Jones, and this is a wild-looking car, but it's an open-wheel car. And if you know about the history of open-wheel cars could end up like our cautionary tale boy right here, Forky. Open-wheel cars, if they crash, that wheel is going to hit the barrier, and it is going to bend that axle. And once the axle is bent on a Hot Wheels car, that's it. It's over. I don't have the tools or the ability to fix it, and we're always kind of crossing our fingers when we have open wheel cars. But Turbo Jones, I couldn't pass up. Pick this one up. So let's crack it open and take a look at this one. Oh, it's got the little double plastic in there. All right, Turbo Jones, first editions. First edition of what? I don't know. I cannot. Let's see, 2000. I think is the year. All right, let's check the weight. That's the key thing. What's the weight on Turbo Jones? Turbo Jones, 31.5 grams. This is a very, very unique car. And let's go ahead and take a look. Turbo Jones. Turbo Jones, I'm just hoping, just stay on the track. But it's such an awkward car. It's very tall. It is open-wheeled. It's, when we look at the back, it's got possibly two points of contact. If that pipe is sticking out further, which it looks to be doing, sticks out further than the back end of the car, now we've got an issue, because that means that pipe is going to be the point of contact, and it's off to the right side of the car, which means that when this thing gets pushed out, it's going to be getting pushed from the right side. What that is going to do is beyond me, because I'm thinking that if it gets pushed on the right, that car is going to get forced off to the left. And if it gets forced off to the left, we're going to start that cycle of banging and bouncing around, bouncing back and forth. And that's not going to help this car. But what I'm afraid that it's going to do is it's going to push it off really hard and fast to the left, and it's going to slam into that barrier and bend that axle. Also, with this being a taller car, does Turbo Jones move? Oh, okay. I thought Turbo Jones was going to be one of those gimmicks that wobbled back and forth, but no, Turbo Jones is just leaning hard to the right so he can see what's coming, and what's coming may be a horrendous crash. But yeah, this is gonna be tough. Let's see. You need an axle adjustment tool. Do those actually work? I've never seen one. I could if you send me, I appreciate that. You can just send me a link and I'll check it out, because I've never. Well, first thing, let me ask you, the axle adjustment tool, it works without having to disassemble the car? Because that's kind of the thing that every time I see somebody doing work on the car, the first thing they do is take that drill to the rivets on the bottom, and right then I'm like, okay, I'm out. This is kind of above my my ability level. And I always wonder how the wheel swapped axles and wheels actually spin. I'm surprised I haven't seen that. I've seen people. Maybe I have. It was okay. Yeah, I'm definitely curious. And hey, we may need that axle tool if Turbo Jones doesn't manage to stay on the track. This is just kind of a cool, weird looking. Like, check out Mr. Turbo Jones right there. He's got the scarf, got the goggles, ready to go. Very unique, very weird, very quirky. So let's see. Yeah, it really kind of depends. It's hard to tell, but I think that pipe sticks out a little farther than the back of the car. It kind of depends on the angle that I hold this at, but we'll know once we put it in the once we put it in the launcher, we will find out. Oh, so the axle straightening tool came standard with the tune-up tower in the 70s. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'd like to see that in action, because I have some older cars that I had from when I was a kid that can't race anymore, because for that exact reason, that the axles are bent. Like I have this one. It's green. You can't see it. This 75 Rockbuster, but the axle's bent. I have there's quite a few. I have another. They're all green for some reason. This one doesn't have a label. You can kind of see the outline of it, but again, axle's bent. That's one I played with when I was a kid. Whatever this one is, this old space racer, axles bent. I've got this. What is this? This is the steam roller. Axles bent. Red line. This one, this T-Totaler, looks like it has been totaled, because again, I played with it when I was a kid, and the axles are bent. So I've got a lot of older cars that I had when I was a kid that, hey, the axles are bent. All right, let's talk about today and right now. We've got the Olds 442. We've got the Lamborghini Terzo. Lamborghini Terzo Millennio, the gold medal speed Chevy Stocker, the 69 Corvette, and we have the Turbo Jones. Now, the last car we're going to introduce before we get into the viewer picks is today. I believe today's the last day. Spirit Airlines is going out of business, and Spirit Airlines is what it was, or was what it is. And the one thing that I'll say about Spirit Airlines, because I flew it often, because I'm tall, really tall, and legroom is the most important thing to me on a plane. And so the first 8 seats on Spirit were huge. It was basically their version of first class seats, and there was a lot of legroom. So Spirit was everything that everybody said it was, but those first 2 rows of seats had plenty of legroom, and I loved it. They called it the big front seat, and I would get that every single time. And actually, when I was just out of town, I'm lucky, because I was out of town, and then this news started to circulate. Spirit might be going out of business, and I was worried they might go out of business before I could catch my flight back home. That didn't happen. I was a week early, so I missed that. But anyway, in honor of Spirit, I was like, let me go and find, it's terrible, because I think I saw an article that said like thousands of basically like their employees, and that spans the thing from the mechanics, the pilots, the flight crews, the ticket agents. It's a lot of people out of business, and hopefully they can, get picked up by some other airlines. But I figured that since Spirit was going out of business, in honor of Spirit going out of business, I needed to find a yellow car, preferably yellow and black, to race. And I had a camera issue this morning that I was dealing with right up to the last minute, so I didn't have a chance to go deep, so I had to grab the first 2 yellow cars that I saw. And the first 2 were these 2. Virgo says people are stranded. Yeah, that's rough. And that would have been me had it been a week earlier. I just flew in like last Friday. So no, I'm here in LA, so I had to come all the way back. But All right, so we have two options. One is this premium 2023 Toyota GR Corolla, which I like, this Rain-X edition. But I haven't opened it and haven't used it because it's got the real riders, the rubber wheels, and we've seen how those have performed historically. But that Ferrari Competizione, the Maisto, had the rubber wheels. It won a race. It was fine. And then a couple weeks before that, we had another Maisto, a high-end rubber-wheeled Ferrari that actually won multiple races. So I'm starting to maybe... And we raced this Knight Rider character car edition that also had rubber wheels last week, or was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Whenever we did all those Firebirds, whenever we raced this piece of garbage. But I'm kind of having a little, not a total change of heart, but a reconsideration of these cars. So I think of the two, we've got the Surf Duty. I think we're going to leave the Surf Duty down, and we're going to try out this 2023 GR Corolla with the rubber wheels from the Slide Street 2 series. Hot Wheels Premium Car Culture. I don't keep these cars, I don't keep my cars in the mint on card. I just want to see which car is the fastest, and this goes back to when I was a kid. That's all I cared about. That's all we cared about. Who had the fastest Hot Wheels car? Okay, this one weighs in at 53.8 grams, so it's heavy, just as heavy as that Stocker. So maybe that's a race that we will set up. Although I think in a case where the cars have similar weights, then that gold medal speed or the gold medal speed axle situation is going to be the determining factor. One guy said he looked like he wanted to cry and he doesn't know how he's getting home. Yeah, that's, I guess there's two things. One, he should have been watching the news because they were talking about this. And I was already trying to make those, like, all right, how am I going to get back? But yeah, especially if you weren't paying attention and you just show up at the airport and you're going to like check your bags in and they're like, nah, we're out of business. That's kind of wild. And I can only imagine the problems that's going to cause for people. But yeah, that's just rough. I mean, it's like I know some people who don't they don't watch the news because everything's so negative and it's just, a lot of kind of brings them down, and I get that. But you got to check in every once in a while because you might end up showing up to the airport and finding out your airline is out of business. And it's funny because I'm the only person really that I know who kind of consistently took Spirit. And again, it's just because those front seats, you could get them. So the big front seats are the same size as the first class seats on any other airline. It's just that on Spirit, it was an add-on. So you could add it on for like about $100 on top of their cheap ticket. So you weren't paying as much as you would pay on Delta or American or United for the same amount of space. So it was always like very much the sort of, I felt like it was like my secret deal. But anyway, everybody I know knows that I used to always pick that seat and fly Spirit. And so this morning, people are sending me messages almost as if a friend had passed away. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh man, sorry for your loss. Sorry about your airline. And I'm like, I almost feel like I should have a moment of silence. So this is going to be as close to a moment of silence as I get, which is bringing in a yellow car. And I didn't even talk about it. I'm talking about Spirit. So with this one, I think that the weight is going to be a problem. The rubber tires, rubber wheels, also going to be a problem, but less a problem than the weight. And I think that if we race this one against the Stocker, the two heaviest cars we've got, then we're going to find out that gold medal speed, the nickel-plated axles, are going to make a difference. So there we go. We have our lineup. It is the 2023 Toyota GR Corolla. We have Torpedo Jones. We have 69 Corvette Racer. We've got the Chevy Stocker. We've got the Maisto Lamborghini, and we've got the Olds 442. We've got a pretty diverse lineup. And now I'm gonna go pull GSRs. Legs aren't built like they. Yeah, leg room is extremely important. Like, I'm tall enough that if I'm sitting in a regular seat on a plane, my knees are right up pressed into the back of the seat in front of me. So as soon, at some point on that flight, the person's going to want to recline their seat. And when they do, it's like right on my knee. It's terrible. So, that's that. Actually, you know what I should have brought back? I should have brought back the Dogfighter. The Dogfighter is a plane, and it's yellow. Should have brought that. But anyway, I'm going to go and pull... GSR's car, and then we're going to take a look at his car, Roughshod and Christopher's picks, and then we will be ready to hit the track. So I'm going to throw up Virgo's favorite song, and I'll be back in, should just take me a minute to get back. That was brief because I was able to find the car quickly. So we're going to take a look. So GSR made his pick, and his car is the See You Later. It's weighing in at 41.6 grams, so it's a little bit on the heavy side, but not, I mean, when we've got cars that are 53 grams, this is nothing. So let's take a look at this. So what I'm saying first off is we're looking at the front. And right in the front, we have kind of these openings. And what I always look for when I see cars that have any kind of opening in the grille, let me get the focus right. That would help. Any kind of openings in that front grille area is I always want to see if there's somewhere for the air. Can the air pass through to some other part of the car? Or is it just sort of a hollowed out space? And this one doesn't appear to have, it appears to stop right there, which means that air is going to go into those little pockets, and it's not going to be beneficial to the car. Now, this is interesting because it is basically a convertible, sort of, but this windshield comes up so far that I don't think that the air is going to necessarily dip into this driver's compartment in the same way that it would with a car like, say, that Corvette Racer. And GSR does point out that the bottom, there's this arch right here. That's kind of interesting. So how that actually changes the airflow, that's going to be something that I'm going to have to remember to put this car in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, because for the most part, all of the Hot Wheels cars are flat on the bottom, and there's not really much difference between them. So the bottom of the car and the airflow underneath the bottom doesn't really come into play as much. As it's not as significant because all the cars are exactly the same on the bottom. It's usually up top where they're different, but this is very interesting. And it's got the larger wheels in the back, standard wheels in the front, so I like the stance. When we look at the back end of the car, it is pretty much flat across there, so it'll have good points of contact with the launching block, and I think that this is an interesting pick, and I don't recall seeing this one on the track. I don't think any of my students have picked this one, so this might be I think a track debut. So we've got the See You Later. We have that, and then let's see, Christopher, he went with a Ford F150 Lightning edition, which we had in the wind tunnel on Wednesday. It weighs in at 39.7 grams. So despite its size, it is not all that heavy. There are a lot of little added extras. We got the giant splitter in the front. But what we saw with the wind tunnel is that splitter ended up, like, it's pretty low and drove a lot of the air up instead of underneath the car. And when the air was going up, it hit that grill. And in hitting that grill, there's a lot of surface area right here that air is pressing up against, and then it has to go over, under, and around this. And once it goes over, it's not so bad, but then once it passes the roof line, the air kind of tails off. We saw little turbulent wakes right behind the cab and behind the car, of course. But this will be an interesting vehicle to race. I'm already seeing it's going to happen. It's going to be this one versus Turbo Jones. Turbo Jones is locked in, so we will see if Christopher's pick can take down Mr. Turbo Jones and how that all plays out. Now, we also have Roughshod's pick, which is very, very interesting. And I'm glad he picked this one. He had the option of this one and a Jaguar. He picked up this one, and it is 30.2 grams. It is not as light as I thought. That was my big concern, was that it was going to be too light. And it is not. It is fine. Christopher is asking if your Ford fits into the launcher. Yes, it does. It does fit into the launcher. So this car, I thought it was going to be in the 20s in terms of weight, but it is not. So that's great. And that means that now we can look at some of the other factors. We saw that with this open driver's area, that the air was coming up over this windshield, and then it was just dipping down in here, and some of it was escaping underneath this. I wouldn't so much call it the wing. I presume that if this is an actual, maybe it's where the convertible top connects, but we'll just say the wing, this sort of mid-car archway wing. But anyway, there's some space. It's open, so the air can still flow. It's restricted a bit because it does encounter the tops of the seats, but it can still flow through. But this is going to be an interesting car because it's not as light as I thought it was, and we're going to see the aerodynamic profile was decent until it got a little questionable in this area. But we're going to find out what this car has. So we have our lineup is set. It is ready to go. We are now about to hit the track, and I just want to make sure that everyone who has never seen an all about aerodynamics at the track live race before, understands what it is that you are about to see. And it is this. It is our, let me turn it on for the Instagram viewers. There we go. It is our classic 3-camera track view. The cars are going to start off in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. I'm going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I'm going to hit the switch. The cars are going to come firing out of the launcher. They're going to go from top to bottom. They're going to pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They're going to go from top to bottom. They're going to pass out of the bottom of that screen and show up at the top of the screen on the far right, our finish line camera. And the cars are going to go from top to bottom. They are going to cross the finish line, and when they do, the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car. A flashing red light indicates the losing car. And after that race, the cars will switch lanes and we will run again. And the first car to win 2 races is going to move on in the tournament. If a car crashes and leaves the track, that car is not going to suffer any consequences, because we are just going to restart the race. And we are going to restart the race. And if that same car crashes twice consecutively, that car is disqualified, because a car that crashes twice consecutively, it usually indicates there's some problem with the combination of the car, the design, the launch it's getting, etc. That's not going to be resolved by just re-racing the car. So, car crashes twice, it's out. But if a car crashes but lands on its side or its roof and stays on the track, unfortunately, that counts. That car just lost. So if your car crashes, you'd be better off having it crash and leave the track. That is what you want. So that is our race setup. We've got a great lineup of cars, and it is time to hit the track. So I will see you there in 30 seconds. Okay, let me just check the audio. 1, 2. Okay, we're good with the audio. We are good with the cars. Everything's lined up, looking good. And it is time to find out which of these cars is going to come out on top and be able to take on and possibly take out the Blitz Speeder. We're going to come out of the gates hot and just get it over with right now. We're going to see if Mr. Turbo Jones, it might be Mrs., maybe it's Mr. or Mrs., I don't know. But Turbo Jones, we're going to see if Turbo Jones can make it down the track, what kind of speed, what kind of style, what we can expect. I have no idea. But we're going to go Turbo Jones versus the F-150. And I think both of these cars are going to require that we put on the taller acrylic cover. Absolutely. And that will do just fine. All right. Get these cars locked in. I always do some test runs with another group of cars before the race, just to make sure that the track is everything's lined up properly, everything's in working order. And we had some this should be a pretty fast track today. All right, so with Turbo Jones, one of the things that we were talking about is whether or not that pipe in the back stuck out beyond the back end of the car. It does not. So essentially, the part of Turbo Jones that is touching the launching block is the nose of how the back is like a cone shape. The nose of that cone is touching the launching block, but it's going to be a wild ride for Turbo Jones, because I can just tell. So Here we go. This is race number 1. We've got Turbo Jones in lane 2. We've got the Ford F150 Lightning in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, so Turbo Jones didn't have any problems with the track, mainly because he was going so slow. That was not, neither of those, that performance by both of those cars in that race was nothing to write home about. But hey, a win is a win, and the Ford F150 Lightning took that race. We are now going to switch lanes and see if Turbo Jones, I mean, with a name like Turbo, I expected a little more juice, a little more gas. Come on. But we're going to see. Everybody has a bad race now and then, so we will find out if that is a trend or if that was just, you know, bad luck. Now, I will say about this Ford is it's wide, and it is wide. It's just wide enough that it fits in, so that's good. It's pretty much guaranteed to stay straight on the track. It's just a matter of can it be fast. All right, here we go. Turbo Jones is in lane 1, and the Ford F-150 Lightning is in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, look at the Lightning coming all the way back to the front section. Okay, that was a much better performance. The Lightning, the F-150 Lightning, blew out Turbo Jones. Turbo Jones, thank you for coming. We might have to just call you Jones because I didn't see any turbo. So Jones is going back into the garage, and we are going to move on. Let's check out. Let's go next up with the other kind of unique matchup with the two heavy cars. So we're going to have this Rain-X Toyota Corolla, and we're going to have the Chevy Stocker. And both of these cars weighed in at about 53 grams. But the Rain-X car the Corolla has rubber wheels. And rubber wheels are not usually good on the track. There's just too much friction. But the Stocker has the gold metal speed wheels, which apparently have the nickel-plated axles, which will allow the wheels to spin more freely and faster. So we'll see what happens. We've got the Chevy Stocker in lane 1. We've got the Rain-X Toyota Corolla in lane 2. Race number 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And as we tend to see, cars with rubber wheels move slowly. And that is exactly what happened with the Corolla. If this Corolla had standard Hot Wheels wheels, I think we would have had a different outcome, but maybe not. Actually, no, we probably wouldn't have. If they're the same weight, but just the wheels were different, unless it had the gold metal speed wheels, then I don't think we would have seen a different outcome. It would have been a closer race, but the outcome would have probably been exactly the same. But either way, I haven't seen, well, the gold metal speed car, the Chevy Stocker, was not all that impressive, but then again, it was just racing a car with rubber wheels, so what do you expect? Well, let's see. And now the Corolla, I'm trying to get it to stay in position in the launching block, in the launcher, and it doesn't want to stay. It might as well stay because it's only going to probably have this last race in its career. So, come on, stay put. This thing. It's really weird. These cars sometimes just don't. They just roll forward slightly. And that is enough to create an issue. All right, there we go. All right, we've got the Rain-X Toyota Corolla in lane 1. We've got the Chevy Stocker in lane 2. And race number 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That race was a little closer, but still, we've got, it's just going. And GSR with the cold, maybe the axles are cold and they need to warm up. I don't know what it is, but here's the thing. It's like the Blitz Speeder has one race a week, and it comes out of the garage, yawns, and then hits the track. So there's no, you've got to just do it right then and there. All right, let's see. Let's go with the See You Later against this 69 Corvette Racer. See what that is about. These cars seem similarly matched for some reason. Or maybe they just have a similar, something about the look made me decide, yeah, let's go with these two. All right, we're going to line up the See You Later in lane 1. We're going to put the 69 Corvette Racer in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo. So that's interesting because that race was close. The cars came out and they're pretty close, but the See You Later momentarily, just for a moment, it went up on 2 wheels and it looked like it might crash. But then it righted itself and stayed in the race. But the problem was, in a close race, if you have a little wobble or stumble, then, that's not going to bode well for the outcome. And that is pretty much exactly what happened. The See You Later just went up on 2 wheels. It happened about in the first third of the race. And it was not able to recover. So we'll see if the See You Later can stay on the track. I think it should be able to take this race. Or at least it should be one of those races that comes right down to the wire. All right, the See You Later's in lane 2. We've got the 69 Corvette Racer in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the See You Later stayed on the track and took that race. So that was as expected there. So now we're heading to race number 3. And it's going to be a question of, can the See You Later, and I mean, I'm not certain that it's definitely the faster car, but I think if it can stay on the track this time, get a clean run, that it should be able to take out this Corvette. But nothing's guaranteed, which is why we race the cars, because you just never know. All right, here we go. See You Later's in lane 1. The 69 Corvette Racer's in lane 2. Race number 3. Here we go. Winner moves on. 3, 2, 1, race. Woohoo! The See You Later was behind slightly. And then towards the back end, the Corvette started to slow. And we saw that See You Later caught it and passed it. And that is what we tend to see. That it looks like one car is speeding up to catch the other car. But as we know, that's not the case. These cars are not speeding up at any point. Right after they come out of the launcher, their speed is only decreasing because those forces are going to work on them. And the See You Later was able to look like it gained speed to pass the Corvette, but what really happened was, for whatever reason, the Corvette was slowing down, whether that be a combination of gravity, drag, etc. But the see you later is moving on, and so now we're going to go with roughshods, this 62 Ford Mustang Concept car against the Maisto Lamborghini Terzo Millennio. And we're going to see what this Maisto car with the cheap wheels can do on the track against roughshods pick, which again, it's small, but it's not light. Wait. Oh, we might have an issue. Oh, womp womp. The Maisto Lamborghini is too wide to fit into the launcher, and so it cannot race. But it came in a pack of 5. So let's see. Where did I put it? We're going to have the Maisto tag out, and we'll bring in one of the other cars in that pack, which is, they've got some random unmarked type of car, which I don't know what that is. And there is a police car. We'll see if that fits. The police car that is replacing the Maisto Lamborghini that doesn't fit is also a Lamborghini. It's a Lamborghini Murcielago. Let's see if this one fits. It does not. So both the Maisto Lamborghinis don't fit. Let's see if this unmarked, weird, hybrid blue Maisto car fits. It does. So we are going mystery opponent versus, so it's going to be roughshods pick versus the Maisto mystery car. And the Maisto mystery car is in lane 2. Roughshods 62 Ford Mustang Concept car is in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo! Okay, those cars were moving. Maisto Mystery and Roughshods car were definitely moving down the track. The Ford Concept took it, and I like that Maisto. That Maisto Mystery had some nice speed. It just looked like that Roughshods Mustang was just really quick. But both those cars were moving, especially compared to some of the races we've seen previously. So we may have stumbled across inadvertently a decent Maisto race car. Who knew? All right, I'm gonna line it up, see if this Maisto can take this race, or if Roughshods Mustang is gonna be moving on. Mystery Maisto is in lane 1, and the Mustang Concept is in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Whew. That was a very close race, but as you can tell from the solid red light, the winner is Roughshods Mustang Concept car. So that is it. But I am very impressed with the Mystery Maisto. And the Mystery Maisto will be taking the place of whatever that car, the Lamborghini in the fleet. I'm calling it the Mystery Maisto because there's no information on the bottom of this car. So it's going back into the garage, but hey, there it is. All right, we are down to the Chevy Stocker, the F150, the See You Later, the Mustang Concept, and the Olds 442. We're gonna go Olds 442 versus the See You Later, and see how this all plays out and turns out. we have the 442 Oldsmobile with no wing in lane 2, and the See You Later in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Olds won the race. It had the lead, and then the race got a little close because the Oldsmobile started to wobble and kind of started to go up on two wheels, and then it got back down. But unlike when the See You Later did it the first time, the Mustang did it kind of in the center of the track, so it didn't brush up against the sides, which prevented it from creating additional friction, which would have slowed it down. So it was able to hold on to that lead, but that was a pretty close race. We're going to switch lanes and see which car is going to come out on top. Are we going to have to go to a third and final race, or will it be decided right here? The Olds is narrow. See You Later is ready. Race number 2, here we go. See You Later, lane 2. Olds 442, lane 1. Race number 2. 3, 2, 1, race. And you see, so that Olds, this time, it couldn't hold it together. It was doing that same wobble move, but this time it flipped over, landed on its roof. Thing that it should have done is it should have left the track. You see where it landed, upside down on its roof, still on the track. That means that's a loss. So we're going to switch lanes, and we are going to go to a third and final race. And this is sort of the dilemma for these narrow cars, is that if everything doesn't go exactly right, then, you know, they could have a bad race day. So we're going to see if the Olds has been wobbly in both races. The first race, it was just able to recover, and so it wasn't affected. But in that second race, it couldn't keep it together, flipped over, and that was that. See You Later took it. So now we're coming into race number 3. See You Later's in lane 1. Oldsmobile 442's in lane 2. Race number 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Olds hung on. Barely. It started wobbling again at the end, and the See You Later was clearly closing that gap and closing the distance, but it just didn't have. If there had been another 2 feet of track, I think the See You Later probably would have beaten out the Olds, but there wasn't. And this is it. So the Oldsmobile is moving on, and we are going to see if one of these cars is going to be the one to take out the Blitz Speeder. All right, we're going to go with that Chevy Stocker against the Ford F150, and the F150, I'm pretty sure, is. Yep, it's going to need the taller cover. The Stocker doesn't, so we're going to bring out our hybrid cover that has one side taller and one side lower to accommodate taller cars versus standard cars. And get these things set up. Locked in here. We have the F-150 in lane 1. And we have the Stocker Gold Medal Speed Gold Confetti Edition in lane 2. Stocker in lane 2, F-150 in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That race was very close. And the Stocker barely pulled it out, but you only have to win. Whether you win by a millimeter or a mile, you've still won. And the Stocker pulled it out. I couldn't see exactly. I know the race was close. I couldn't see exactly how close from my vantage point, but I could tell that, yeah, it was definitely close. So now we are going to go to race number 2, switch lanes, and see what the outcome is. Get these cars lined up. Neither of these cars seem like, both of these cars seem like they would get destroyed by either the Oldsmobile or the Mustang, but hey, you still got a race. We have the Chevy Stocker in lane 2. We have the F150 in lane, I'm sorry, the F150's in lane 2, the Stocker's in lane 1, race 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And somehow, some way, the Stocker pulls it out. From my vantage point, it looked like the F-150 was in the lead, but apparently not. The finish line does not lie, and it's saying that the Stocker crossed first, and therefore the Stocker has made it to the finals. Now, which car will it face in the finals? We're going to find out. It's either going to be the Mustang Concept or the Oldsmobile 442, and this should be an interesting race because the question is about this old 442. Can it stay on the track? And can it have just a stable, steady launch? This Mustang is fast, period. And it could be our winner for the day. But this Oldsmobile really just needs to have a solid run. Stay on the track, keep those wheels on the track, and maybe it could take the race. All right, we have the Mustang Concept in lane 1. We have the Oldsmobile 442 in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Whew. Okay, that Oldsmobile, when it keeps it together, it's as good as any of the cars we've seen. So we have the Oldsmobile take that race, and now we are going to need for the Mustang to show up and force a third and final race. And that's the question, whether or not it can happen. We're going to find out. Sliding this back, getting these cars set, and the Mustang is now going to be in lane number 2. The Olds in lane 1. The last time the Olds was in lane 1, it flipped upside down, landed on its roof. We'll see if that happens again. Olds lane 1, Mustang lane 2, race 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. That Oldsmobile took it. Look at it coming all the way back. Okay. We have our finals matchup set up. It is going to be the gold medal speed Chevy Stocker versus the Olds 442 with no wing. And this should be an interesting race. I don't think it'll be close, though. I think the Olds is going to destroy the Stocker. I don't think the gold medal speed wheels are going to help at all, because the weight, so we already know that the Olds is fast and it's significantly lighter, and I don't know that the difference in the wheel type is going to be enough to make up for that difference. But here we go. The Chevy Stocker in lane 2, the Olds 442 in lane 1, race 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And see, what do I know? This is exactly why we have to race the cars, because I had my ideas, I had my thoughts, I had my hypothesis based on everything that I've observed, and I thought there's no way that this heavy Stocker is going to come out on top. And sure enough, it takes race one with ease, total and complete ease. Like, there was nothing difficult about that race, and I didn't see that the Oldsmobile got a bad start. So we're going to switch lanes and see if the Oldsmobile can make up for that first race performance. We have the Chevy Stocker in lane 1. We have the Olds 442 in lane 2. Race number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Wow. Gold medal speed takes first place and wins the tournament today. It beat out the Oldsmobile 2 races in a row. It was not close at all. And now we're going to see if this gold medal speed 53-gram Chevy Stocker can beat the Blitz Speeder. I don't know. You know, hey, I was just totally surprised by that outcome, so what do I even know? We are going to find out right here. Is the Blitz Speeder going to go down and be taken out by this pink car with the gold glitter weighing in at 53 grams? Or is the Blitz Speeder going to do what we've seen the Blitz Speeder do week after week? We're going to find out. Chevy Stocker in lane 2, our champion for today, going up against the Blitz Speeder, 4-time fastest in fleet champion. The Blitz Speeder is in lane 1. The Chevy Stocker's in lane 2, race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Blitz Speeder takes it, but not by a huge margin. Not by a huge margin. This is kind of interesting. I mean, it doesn't suggest that there's going to be a toppling of the champ, but that was a solid performance. And it is interesting that we are going to come down to a race between a 53-gram car, that has the nickel-plated axle, so Hot Wheels' best wheel axle combination, versus the Blitz Speeder. The Chevy Stocker's in lane 2. The Chevy Stocker's in lane 1. The Blitz Speeder is in lane 2. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, and that race, the Blitz Speeder was like, wait a minute, we're not going to have any kind of dispute or discussion as to which car is absolutely the king of the hill. Blitz Speeder takes that with ease. I'm going to gather these cars up, head back in the garage. We'll take a look at the winners, the losers, and what's coming up next, and I will be back in just a minute. So once again, the Blitz Speeder is our fastest in fleet champion. I mean, it remains our fastest in fleet champion. It had the second race was pretty, was not close. It was like a standard Blitz Speeder race. But that first one gave a little hope. And this one, the Chevy Stocker, with the gold metal speed wheels, yeah, Stocker has enough rolling efficiency to overcome some of its inertial resistance. Yeah, and it just says that there's something to this idea of the faster than ever wheels, the gold metal speed wheels, that nickel-plated axle allows the wheels to spin more freely with less friction. And there's clearly something to that, because if we were to just go into the fleet and pull out another 53-gram car that just had standard wheels, we would not have, I don't think we would have this kind of performance. And especially when we look at this one, it's not that this is the most aerodynamically efficient car. It's pretty much a standard car, and if we were to put it in the wind tunnel, when we put it in the wind tunnel, I think it's pretty predictable what we would see. So the fact that a car that at this weight was able to win our tournament does suggest a few things. That when we have larger cars, heavier cars, if there is something specific about them, then not to give them an advantage, but ultimately that gives them an advantage, they can compete. The same thing when we had that John Force peak antifreeze funny car. That car was so precisely designed to the actual aerodynamic specifications of the real world car that it was able to overcome the negatives associated with its heavier weight. So if you have a heavier car, a metal on metal old school car, it's going to need something to be able to compete. It's either going to have an outstanding aerodynamic profile, or it's going to need to have these faster than ever wheels. And those are the two types of heavy cars we've seen be able to compete on the track. As for the rubber wheeled cars, no. This car, same weight as the Chevy Stocker, arguably a better aerodynamic profile, but what was the difference? The wheels. And the Chevy Stocker blew this car away, and this car with its rubber wheels just sort of, it made it across the finish line, but there is just too much friction with those rubber wheels on our track, and it is not, we've seen a few cars with rubber wheels do okay, but we really haven't seen them kind of blow our minds consistently. So that is something we saw. Jones, no longer Turbo Jones, it's just Jones after that performance. Jones did okay, but this is the car that we ended up swapping out, the Mystery Maisto. This one is the one that got pulled into duty as a result of the Lamborghini being too wide to fit into the launch channel. And this one it performed well on the track. And I suppose that really is all that should matter. It performed well enough. It was competitive. So I guess it can go into the fleet. It doesn't seem to be as totally poorly made. Well, it's not really well made, but it's not as poorly made as that Firebird, which is kind of a low bar. It's like being the, valedictorian of summer school. It is what it is, and I think the Mystery Maisto kind of earned its place. Its performance kind of earned it a place in the in the fleet. So it will be kind of getting swapped out of the place that the Lamborghini was in, the Lamborghini Terzo Millennio, and we will see if what happens if it ever gets picked in the future. And GSR, it looks like a Hot Wheels Synchro. I'll have to check that out. That doesn't sound like a model that I actually have in the fleet. So I'll have to check that out, and we'll see. But the end of the day, it is still the Blitz Speeder's world, and until we can find a car that can beat the Blitz Speeder, this is still the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. And we will find out pretty soon whether or not the Blitz Speeder, can we find a car to take it out. We found a car today. Oops. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back over here. We found a car that pretty much gave it a, well, it had won. That first race with the Stocker was close. Second race, not close. So which one is more representative of how those cars, if we kept racing them, was the first race or the second race more representative of what we would see? History suggests the second race, but either way, Blitz Speeder 2-0 took it with ease, and we are still going to be on the hunt to find more cars to beat out the Blitz Speeder. I'm telling you, I have at least a couple of months worth of cars just right here without even going back into storage. But that is the whole point. We're up to 1,091 cars in the fleet. 1,091. That's, I mean, we started at 450, and we are moving. And well, see, that's the thing with the idea of the cold axles, is that you would think that with that being the case, if that's the case, that when we do these races, that some of these cars that are winning the tournament and then facing the Blitz Speeder, they would already be warmed up, and the Blitz Speeder still destroys them every time. But it could account for what you're saying, why the gap in that second race was so much greater. So that is something to consider. But we will be here. We will be here. Oh, you know what? So next week, and I'll let you know, because there's a science STEAM fair happening. And I put in an application to basically set up a booth there and we have this all about aerodynamics. It's like experiment thing that we do for kids at fairs. And so I haven't heard back from them. I should hear back this week. By Wednesday, when we do Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I'll know for sure whether or not I will be at that fair next Saturday, or whether or not I'll be here. But either way, I will let you know. We will be racing Hot Wheels cars, because it just never stops. And as long as Mattel keeps cranking them out, we will be here to race them. So, again, if you want more information about the science program, all about aerodynamics, visit our website, AAAerodynamics.com, or find us on Instagram, AAAerodynamics, and all the information you need to contact us is there. And if you want to watch videos of Hot Wheels cars, we have our 24/7 lo-fi Hot Wheels chill channel running on YouTube, and you can just see the cars spinning around, hear some music, put it on in the background. It's cool. And Wind Tunnel Wednesdays, where we put the cars into the Winsible and check out the aerodynamic profile, take a little bit more of a deeper kind of scientific look into how and why the cars perform the way that they do. And that is what we do. So for At The Track Live, for All About Aerodynamics, for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and for the 24/7 Hot Wheels Lo-Fi channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the races.